Welcome. My name is Ian Quell from IQ Legal Training, and today we're looking at inquiries before contract. What we're going to be doing is looking at inquiries before contract in the context of residential conveyancing. We'll also have a look at CPSC's commercial inquiries before contract in a commercial context. We'll look at, for residential transactions, the issue with regard to current TA6 and TA7 and the proposed and revised TA6 form, which can be used now, but which is likely to go live as of January 2025. So I think it's important that when we're dealing with TA forms, which is what we're starting off looking at, that we put the context of TA forms and due diligence into the melting pot to explore what we're required to do and why. We'll have a look at the conveyancing protocol. We'll have a look at CQS and the requirements of CQS. We'll also have a look at why the Law Society has introduced the revised TA7 and the revised TA6. We're also going to have a look at quite a lot of case law dealing with inquiries before contracts and TA forms. That case law applies both across the residential and indeed commercial property sector. So, TA forms, surely they're not something else to worry about. Well, they are something to worry about for three reasons. Firstly, we've seen a revision to TA7s in the context of residential leasehold transactions. We've seen revision or proposed revision to TA6s, which again has caused some consternation amongst the legal profession. We've also had two cases in the last couple of years and a number of cases in earlier years that really highlight some problems, whether you're acting for a seller or a buyer. Fundamentally dealing with issues associated with misrepresentation, but where a claim for misrepresentation is made by a buyer against a seller, if a seller is liable to a buyer for misrepresentation, there's then the risk of the seller bringing a claim in negligence against their conveyancer. So we're going to be looking at all of those issues in the residential context to start, and then we'll have a look at those issues in the context of commercial transactions as well before we finish. So we're going to look at what we have to explain to a seller in a residential transaction, what we explain to the buyer. We're going to look at the provision of advice to both, and then we're going to think about the revised TA7 and the revised TA6.